One of the things I noticed over the years for job interviews was a shift in technique, finding more about the type of person we were than the titles behind our names. Hi, I'm Joanne Smith, and welcome. I welcomed that technique, but also found that people became quite adept at presenting an image, faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, and able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. So when my nephew asked if he could interview me for a history project, not because I'd been a nurse with titles behind my name, but because the interviewee had to be 65 years or older, well, I definitely aced that requirement. Before Logan and I chatted, I thought mostly about the 1960s and 80s. There were so many things: civil rights, space exploration, and the fall of the Berlin Wall, and many more pivotal events. It was about 30 questions between thinking of a specific event and how I felt about it, and my family's thoughts as well. It took some time. An interesting thing occurred when answering the question about my work-life balance. Old issues cropped up. I used to respond that I didn't spend as much time with family and friends as I should have. But now, I realized that I didn't take care of myself as much as I needed and deserved. That was a huge change. That old mental clutter wasn't there, and that felt really good. The hardest question was pop culture, and I was stumped. I finally gave an answer that each generation has its own culture and is part of our growth, gaining autonomy. But the two questions that stood out: first, if I could change one thing about my life, what would I change? I told him there were so many things I couldn't pick just one, but the overall change I wish I had made sooner in my life was: "No one can make you inferior without your consent," by Eleanor Roosevelt. It took me a long time, Logan, to realize that no one made me angry. I was choosing my reaction to what was said or done. Another was from Roy T. Bennett. The abbreviated version: "Why regret what you cannot change?" So Logan, I can't pick just one thing. It was a pattern that I had for a long time in my life. Second, what would I advise him or someone his age for career or life path? Never stop being curious. Explore your options. Do something you really love doing. Staying curious keeps you involved, and I really think it keeps you young as well. I'm Jo, your encourager. I text Logan as I was thinking about this video. I told him my dad was taking me to nursing school in August of 1969 to Plainfield, New Jersey, and there was a lot of traffic headed to upstate New York. Dad said, "Oh, they're probably headed to Woodstock." I didn't know about Woodstock. I missed one of the biggest pop culture events in my lifetime. But if I hadn't been going to nursing school and wanted to go, Logan, Mom, and Dad would have said no. Logan's response: "I meant to ask you about Woodstock. I've always been interested in it, and that's really cool." And then emoji laughed at the would have said no. See you on Tuesday for a chat on patience.